Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Channel member. Hey, Everett became a channel member. Glad to have you, my man. Hopefully you're coming in March. Love to see you again. Glad to have everybody. Let's see, we got Don, Rex, Dan, Everett, the new channel member, Rob, Darren, Sergio. Good to see you as always. Donald, Ed, Ted, Svenborn, all the way from Iceland. Jeremy, Goose, Lieutenant Colonel, good to see you. David, Skaggs, good to see you. Ted, Cliff, Sledge here this morning. And General, good to see you. Ted, and Ivan, Bob, Amy, Diana, good to see everybody. And everybody else that's tuning in. If you want to be able to chat and say, hey, good morning, click the button over here, right down here in the corner, and be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat. And I left my headphones at home, so I'm going to mute the phone. There we go. And welcome to the stream. Hey, Rollin, good morning. And reminder, today, 5 p.m. Eastern, I have 30 minutes of awesome. That's the only time of the week where I do requests. For those of you new and don't know how it quite works, on Tuesdays at 5 p.m., I do a request show where I take your requests. Hey, my favorite subscriber of all time, Kimberly, is in the house. My beautiful wife. And check this out. Right here. Up. Leverage. That's funny. Check this out right here. Everybody. People need to quit messaging me when I go live. Awesome. All right. Check it out. Look at that. You remember this yesterday? Anybody stick around for the end? Lucky, lucky. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. Right there. Look at that. Look at that. That's... Sometimes I get lucky. Sometimes I get lucky. I mean, look at that. We outlined that. And that. Boom. Hey. I don't know. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. Wrongimer, I hope you can get out, my man. That whew, that was really, really nice. Now, look at this. Also interesting. Let's draw this on here. We usually wrap up the show with the bias for the day and kind of like my expectations. So if you usually cut out early, that is what happens right at the end, right before I wrap up. So look at this. Look at the 618 level right here, 5850. Right there. Look at right there. Holy moly. Coincidence? Crystal ball. What is that? It's Barry on HBO. Crystal ball. Crystal ball. Anyway, if you haven't seen that, they talk about I guess the bad one of the bad guys or whatever that the one guy works for. Crystal ball. Anytime I see it spelled that way, it makes me think of that. And Kimberly finds that amusing. Anyway. All right. If you haven't seen Barry on HBO, it's a pretty interesting show. But I guess a hitman that wants to become an actor, goes to acting school, but he can't get out of the hitman game. All the antics that ensue. Well, that could be the bottom. Right there. I guess we'll look more into it here. That can lead to the next extension here. If this is a measured bounce, which that's proportionally correct for a measured bounce, this might be a 1-2 of whatever end game that the market has in store. So there, if this is the low and we stop and we turn here, we break back above that, and we start rallying, we get back above the 618 level for the drop. Right there, I'll draw in a second. Here's the target zone, 6250, right there. Maybe as high as that fib up there, which is 6380. There's 6250 area right there. You know, even numbers, don't discount them. You know, nice even round numbers could spike up to 63, just a little higher, retrace, treat. Could do that. That's possible. There we go. So the 618 level that I was talking about, go from that high to this low. That's 618 level, 59.77. Right in there. Kick my, I'm going to put alert at 59.80 right there. If we break back above that, likely to come up here and probably extend it on up here like that. We may get a little retrace action, and this may pop up, retrace, pop up, retrace, pop up, retrace, pop up. And that could be the end. This could take a while though. This, I'm not saying this is going to happen by Friday. This is probably going to be, it's probably a much bigger time frame here. Longer go with this. Now, if we start breaking down below this low, problems. So there's your warning level on the downside right there. We'll talk more about the bias for the day at the end. Hey, there you go. Here's your levels right here. This one and this one. Get below this. Yikes. Daily roadmap line. Right there. So, and if we start making lows lower than the 618 or the 76, just below it, probably indicating we're going to break down and go lower. How do you find those? That low, that high, 76 right there, 79.95. Get below that, probably coming down to the prior low. Get below that, probably coming down here to the roadmap line on the daily. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. It's not these aren't, it's not even like a crystal ball. It's just price patterns. Sledge is starting to be a full believer. Patrick, he'll tell you in the chat, like, the more, it's just watching the price pattern. Like, that looked like the highly likely pattern right there yesterday when we were talking yesterday morning at, basically I was giving the expectation right here at 10 o'clock. We were sitting right here. I was like, well, that looks like one up, retrace. We'll probably get this pop. And looking back to the left, this is all corrective. That's unfinished. This little move right here needs a bigger move like this one. So there's what you call the theory of alternation. And this looked kind of like an A wave down. This was like a B wave up right there. And then we needed a C wave. Now we did a 1-2, and that was a 618. That looked like a 3 to me. Now how come that wasn't a 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because this one and this one were the same. And typically we don't get the 2 and the 4 looking exactly the same. We needed a 4 that was bigger. And I was kind of talking to Rongmer about this at Scouts last night. So we had this one that was 23 bars. You need your 4 that's bigger than that. And this one actually lasted 125 bars, so almost 5 times bigger. If you hear me talk about it, a lot of times I talk about the 3 to 5 times bigger, 3 to 5 times longer. It's like think about it, 3 and 5 are both Fibonacci numbers. And we tend to make a wave 4 that's 3 to 5 times bigger. Doesn't usually happen to be 4 times. It's either 3 or 5 times bigger. That one, about 5 times bigger. Funny enough. Funny enough. So it's the theory of alternation. It's not a rule in Elliott wave. Like, they can be similar size, but it's unusual. All right. Usually one takes a long time and one is very fast. So that's what we had right here, is that this one was relatively fast and this one took a relatively longer period of time, 5 times longer. This 4 actually goes right there. And then right now we have a little baby, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see how this one was small, this one was bigger, right there. And this one was small, this one was bigger, no overlap. That can be the final move. And yeah, humans run the market. And sometimes we do predictable things. Yeah, that's right. So it's the unicorn dust, as Sledge says. I do keep unicorn dust right here on my desk. Just right there. Nice bag of unicorn dust. You can go buy some. Just Google it. I don't know that it does great things for the market, but my son bought it for me. It's pretty. I keep it on the desk. I get it right. And about to lose stuff off the front of my desk. So there you go. Not magic, just statistics and price patterns. So this one, why would I go with this being the 1, A, B, and C? Look right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how this one's bigger than that one? You start, like, once you do it enough times, you start kind of understanding how this works. All right, you can't just wave slap. Now, a lot of people learn some Elliott wave, think they got it. There's like 5 or 6 pages of rules and guidelines, I guess you might say. There's certain things that are rules, and then there's certain things that are like, usually it happens. Usually it comes, usually this is the way it works. That's like the theory of alternation. And it's not a rule, but usually it's the way it works. So Occam's razor, when things look the simplest, or, the simplest explanation tends to be the right answer. All right. So instead of coming up with some complex, nasty, gnarly, convoluted theory of what's going to happen, just go with the simplest, most typical thing. And that's what happens most of the time. We popped up here. What's typical? 618 retrace. When we hit extensions on the Apollo and on my market roadmap system, all the time I'm talking about retrace to the roadmap line. That's the simplest expectation of what comes next. If you didn't understand, like, that's how it works, like, that's how I get it right all the time. I just go with the most likely, simplest thing to happen next. And then I wait for it to prove it, and then it sets up my high probability trade, and then I get all over it. All right. So there you go. And practice. Yeah. I mean, like, if you want to do it yourself, you got to practice. If I sit here and look at hundreds of charts a day and stare at the freaking charts all day. Like, I have Bitcoin up constantly. I have ES up constantly, NQ, oil, gold, and IWM, Russell. I watch those all day, and then pop up stuff that hits alerts on other stuff. Go look at opportunities that show up. I have a few scanner tools that pull up stuff for me too, like the Apollo system. Throws out charts all day that are set up with the patterns. Like, that's what Apollo does. That's what Triple Threat does. That's what the daily chart tool that I have for Termite Trading Lab does. It's what Echo Trades does, but needs a little refinement. It just looks for the pattern, the main market roadmap pattern. And people are like, well, I want to ride it for a bigger move. Go to a higher time frame. All right. Echo Trades, market roadmaps bounce, that market roadmap bounce. We've got the orange line. That's the roadmap line. If you don't have it, don't know what it is, links in the description, or you can go to my channel homepage. It's the video I have pinned to the channel page that plays when you go to my channel page, it gives you the indicator and the code and everything. If you want an easy button to put it on your chart, it's like $5. It links in the description. It's easy. It's an easy pattern. I can turn it on right here. Pop up, retrace, get the 618 level, activates, boom, there's the target. Simplest, just zoomed in, the one showing up right there. Retrace, below the roadmap line, cross above the 618, there's the target, right at the 1448, and it actually hit the 1272 and the 1618. We're done. Wait for the next one. Here's the next retrace, right there. That high, low. First close above the 618. Game on again. Almost got us, and then it did get us. That one failed. So there's one that worked, there's one that failed. I'm rocking along. It has to be a certain length for the algorithm to pick it up. You just wait for the algorithm to fire it off right there. That one failed. A very small one. There was a buy, and that one failed again. It shows you we were in a rocky market. And there's one, and it failed again. So there's a reason why I don't necessarily use it on the 15-minute. 65% right on the 15-minute time frame. Big reason I don't use it on futures on the daily time frame. There's other ones that work really well, though. Look at this one. 70%, profit factor 3.3. Tends to come down, get the move up, hit the target, and that one kept rolling. Kept rolling. So it's just the pattern over and over. How do you get these arrows? You don't. This is my tool. I spent a lot of time building this. Not for sale. Powers everything. If I gave it to you, you'd be able to do everything. Boom. Right there. Beautiful. This one was a really nice one recently. Really, really nice one. Look at that. Here was the high. There was the low. Here was the activation. Right here. Came up. Messed around. Boom. Right up to the target. Now what do you think we're going to do? High probability. Could we hold the breakout? Sure, it's possible. Could hold the breakout, go for an extension. Breaking above the 618 up here of that retrace would indicate we're going on up. But be careful. I know somebody, another guru, who got quite long Amazon. Not saying it's a bad idea, but might be in for some pain. That would be the expectation. All right. Any questions? You can let me know in the chat. It's just the patterns. I know this chart has a lot going on here. Let's kind of simplify. There we go. Now we have not made the upside target. We came up shy. We came up just scraped just below it and then retraced right there. We got the low right here. We got the Trump bump. We've been sitting on the 618 for 3 days. Pretty darn good for indicating we're going on higher. Pretty darn good. This is a measured bounce. That high, that low. Look where the target puts us for this, right here. At the minimum. Probably on up to 22.5. Got to get through the 618 level. And then we get the confirmation. 618 right there. Boom. There you go. Right like that. Just pattern. The same pattern all the time. Same pattern. Same. The triple threat. Same pattern on a 1 minute chart. Running on high probability stuff. Mag 7. S&P. There you go. All right. Russell. Now, a little bit different. A little bit different thing we got cooking here. Pushing below the 618. No 3-wave. That's just one big drop. Here's the next level, 76. Get below that, probably coming back. And these two are really close together. Right there. That's looking like it may take it all the way back to the roadmap line. If we don't hold that, watch out. That could have been it. That may have been it for that one. Oil. Just keeps churning right here. Now, the topic for the day was, where are the majority of traders? Where are the majority of traders, right? What are they doing? That was kind of the thumbnail, the description. So check this out. Net call volume. This is calls minus puts. Look at this. We just made a high. Higher than anything we've done since October of 21, when the market kind of topped out. Yeah, we got a couple right in here back in the summertime before we dipped into August. But we just hit a high, higher than... That's a lot of people holding a lot of calls. 99th percentile right there. Well, that's interesting. Indicates people are kind of optimistically long, right? Well, check this out, though. QQQ faced its largest outflows since June. Right there. That was yesterday? Well, that's curious. Big tech. Really hated. We might see a pop, but I would be careful. The boat's starting to tip. This is indicating we're probably done flushing for now. This is indicating we're getting near a top. We might rip everybody. Be careful. Might make a little higher high on this one. And then look over here. Circling back to oil. You know how I like those CTA charts. Look at this. We get a big pop in oil. CTAs are going to buy like crazy through the end of the year. That's the projections. Get a little up. CTA is going to buy pretty good through the end of the year. We get a big down. CTA is kind of flat. Flat market. CTA is kind of flat. That's computerized trading algorithms for those new. That's WTI. That's /CL. And that's Brent. That's /BRN. Right there. And I guess I should do the disclaimer before I talk any more trades. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. So just because I predict things, get things right, doesn't mean I'll ever get another one right again. My crystal ball might break, Crystal ball. Anyway, this presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. Not a recommendation to buy, sell, trade, do anything with anything, all right? It's not investing. This is trading. Don't buy stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. All right. If you desire personal financial advice, you want somebody to tell you what to do, hiring a consultant financial advisor, make sure you trust them. Because let's face it, most people out there are just trying to make some of your money into some of their money. That's the way this world works, right? Even me, your time is money for me. Watching my show here, you got plenty of things to do. Thanks for trusting me. Thanks for coming, watching, subscribing, coming back today, tomorrow, the next day. I appreciate it. So oil, maybe, if we can get a little pop going, we may see this right up in there. CTAs may kick in. Gold, look at that reversal, baby. Come on, we got above the level. That's the first indication. We're going higher. Next stop, right up here. Got to get through that. Get through that. Probably coming on up here. Love it. Love it. Silver, not quite as sparky. Level to watch right up in here. Find a little resistance in that zone right there. I need this to go on higher. I really want to see it above there by next Monday. I'm running out of time on a debit spread I did for silver futures. I missed getting out by 10 cents, which 10 cents times $5,000 a contract is $500 profit. So I missed getting out. Missed getting out. Remember, options on futures, totally different ballgame than options on stocks. Alrighty. Bitcoin, churning at the high. BTC, USD. Well, thanks, Jan. I'm glad you wouldn't miss it. Glad it means enough to you that you keep coming back for more. Look at this. The spot market looking healthier than the futures market right here. Can we break new highs? Doo-dah, doo-dah. Put a lot of up arrows. I think I should draw some more. Superstitious market trader in me believes that up arrows work. Draw enough up arrows on the chart, goes up. And it's kind of the I joke around with a lot of people in the background, like it's not magic, it's not crystal balls, it's not it's the arrows. It's the arrows. You put enough arrows on a chart, and I've got tons of charts that have arrows that go where I expect it to go. This one over here, CUSD, all-time history, nice and clean, where we drew it. Log mode. So I was talking about this yesterday. If you missed it, maybe you should. That's interesting. I wonder why the fib lines aren't attached properly. There we go. All right. If you missed yesterday, maybe you should go watch that. We've got the 1272 coming up right here. And we got the 1618 coming up here. And I keep getting a little bit different numbers every time I draw these fibs. I don't have them snapped because I hate that snap tool. Hate's a strong word. I dislike it the way it works strongly. It always snaps to the wrong thing. It snaps to things, but the wrong thing. Instead of picking the exact high, it'll pick a different high. Anyway, if we go up 1618 like we did so far, every halving happens every 4 years. If you're not familiar, you got some catching up to do. But halving is where the payout rate on mining Bitcoin gets cut in half. We had that back in April, this current one. Usually, we consolidate for about 220 days post-halving, and then we go on a rip. Guess where we are right now? We're coming into the rip. Now, every single halving in the past, all three of them that have happened before, we're on the fourth one, prices hit the 1618 on the upside. It did a pullback into the halving, run the fib from the high to the low that's down there in November, beginning of November 22. That fib extension, 1618, every single time, every single halving before, we've hit the 1618 extension. It's only 3. It's not a statistical population. But until proven otherwise, I expect the 1618. I don't think I put it that clear yesterday. All right. For those of you that started asking follow-up questions, I'm just trying to clarify it for you. Every single halving event we've had so far, 3 in the history, which is not a statistical population, but sometimes you got to use what you got. Every single time we've hit the 1618. That 170,000 area looks pretty ripe. Doesn't mean we won't go, doesn't mean we won't, do a roundabout's way to get there. That's my expectation. I like silver for the opportunity and the fact I'm long silver. All right. Moving on. I like Bitcoin too. I own quite a bit. I actually own more Bitcoin than I own gold or silver or platinum so. Don't actually own. I don't own any physical silver. I do own some gold. I own some platinum. I don't think I have anything that's silver. Jewelry or otherwise. Silverware. All right. Ethereum, not looking as great. Watch out for that to come back to the roadmap line at the minimum. Right there. Kind of expecting that. Dollar. The thing about gold and silver is somebody can rob you and then it's gone. Untraceable. It's gone. Dollar turning down at the resistance. Might go one more. That was not bullish. That's kind of bearish, but we still have a little bit of upside potential. But then we're probably going to turn down on the dollar. NKD being a little soft, and we're seeing that spill into the U.S. market. Global liquidity indicator sitting on the roadmap line. Need to get a bounce and break out above these levels right here and definitively move higher. Maybe take us to a blow off top. Maybe. We'll see. All right. I go pull everything moving $2 or more up and $2 or more down and put it on my pre-market gainers and decliners list. I usually go through those live here for you and try to find opportunities. So we're going to do that next. And then we'll circle back around and hit the expectation for the day before we wrap up. So this will take a few minutes to get through the list. SMCX, there's another 2x long. I like how they put target on there. Target 2x long SMCI. So they're trying to get 2x leverage on SMCI. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. What a hot disaster that is. Look at that. Whew. That's the reverse split. That's a reverse split. It's got to be 1 for 20. Yeah. Ouch. Yeah, did that get delisted yesterday? Saved it. Didn't delist it. They must have filed seeks a filing extension. Yeah, there it is. It results in a 15-day stable delisting with the possibility to extend. Hey, you believe they're going to go for that. Try to prolong their delisting for 6 months. Watch out. That one may get delisted. If you're long or short SMCI, you're playing with fire. I would GTFO. Get the fudge out. You know, when you go to a party, you tell the host or hostess, GTFO, get the fudge out. I want a party. So, all right. SYM. I'm sure somebody will tell me I'm using that wrong. I know. It's a joke. There's the high, there's the low, there's the bounce, and we hit the target already. What do we expect next? Retrace. We hit resistance here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So I'm always cautious about these watermelon seed squeeze patterns right here. This one kind of did it. And it went down. That right there and that right there. The height of the begin and that right there. And it doesn't look right because you got to put it on a log scale. It's all crooked. Yes, I know. See that right there? Right off the bottom, off the breakdown, we went right down to the extension. Look at that. That was beautiful. This is why I don't like these. We could have easily popped. Like I can show you examples of popping, and there's one that dropped. Now, once we get to the bottom, what next? There's no high probability anything, but this one retraced right back to kind of the middle of the zone. Nice. I just admire my work sometimes. I'm just shocked. Like I still shock myself that I drew this I don't know how long ago and it did it. Exactly. Crazy. I don't know. Sometimes I shock myself. Anyway, no trade there. ESLT. This is rocking and rolling higher. 268, be the upside. This has been a long time in the making. And before I even started using the 1448. Why 1448? That's 90% of the way to the 1272. 1272 is the target. That is the target. Like, don't get confused. Like, that's the target. How do you make the conservative target even more conservative? You go with 90% of the way there, because sometimes we fall just a little shy. Sometimes we come up here and we just miss just a little bit. So I started using 90% of the way to the 1272. It's not a fib number. Don't get confused. All right. That's why it's not a fib number. That's why it's not a default Fibonacci level. It's 90% of the way to the 1272. But we see price a lot of times hit that level and then retrace. So 259, possibly 272. MSTU, the one that doesn't give up. MSTU, MSTR, MSTX. I bought a bunch of shares of this. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Now, what's the target? You have to use the underlying, all right? The underlying target here, we're coming up in a resistance zone. Watch out. Be careful. There is resistance right here. Does it have to respect it? No. Here's the bigger zone. Up here around 1,000. Go cruising on through. That's where we can expect. If Bitcoin keeps going. All right, this is all contingent upon Bitcoin doing the thing. What thing is that? That thing. Bitcoin does that thing. MSTR is doing that thing. MSTX. So, just remind you how this works. That right there to the target zone, 1,000. Let's be kind of like, if you want to be more conservative, pull it down to whatever you think, 750, whatever. I'm going with 1,000 right now. That's 152% higher. All right. Switching to guns, moving to something that does 2x leverage, just holding shares. It's going to underperform on the longer period. Probably. May not. 152 on the underlying, round down, 150%. What's 2x that? 300%. What would 300% be from right here today? Right in there. So right around, let's call it 475. Why do I round down? Trying to be conservative. Always, like, it'll underperform. It won't get 2x on the long term. This is a daily 2x. They try to do 2x the performance on a daily basis. That means they probably outperform on the downside and just meet the performance on the upside, so you underperform long term. That's why I warn about leverage. Leverage stuff is dangerous. But there you go. How do you know how high we're going? That's how high. Now, if you want to go for smaller target, something more conservative, like I said, just switch to MSTR. Figure out your percent gain. Multiply it by 2. Be conservative. Minus a little bit. Set your target. All right. Everybody good? And the lack of comment. I shouldn't be muted. The little bar at the bottom is going. So if you're not hearing me, it's probably on you. Somebody can tell Opal that in the chat, I guess. All right. So that's MSTR, SMCI. Be careful. That may get delisted. Yeah. I wouldn't touch it. We did the bubble retrace like that. That was where I expected us to potentially find a bottom. It could go even further down. It could get delisted. I want to get out. I got an order. I put an order on live before I went live at 45. I'm going to GTFO right there. Get the fudge out. If you rode with me through all of this, I see the limited upside potential at this point. We are hitting that level. That is a corrective topping area right there, potentially. A, B, C. That's the proportion for the C. Could go on up to 53. I wouldn't count the proverbial chickens before they hatch. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. SMCY. There's a yield max. Like, these are just gnarly, man. Just don't. They look really attractive. If you dig into these, you're like, holy beep. 264% dividend. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Be careful. There's a reason that is a ridiculous number. And that's because you see what the chart's doing. We see this on all right, all of these yield max income strategy things. Just the banks can't use their money to do it anymore, so let's use your money to do it. They want to do it. So be careful. It's the same sort of stuff they were doing when they blew it out. If you didn't know that, be careful. I would not chase any of those ones with a Y on the end. BERY. There was the target, 73. That may have been it. Be careful. Watch out for the retrace. ALB. Working really hard to prove that we're going to reverse here, but stuck in the roadmap line. And here's why I don't like that move up, right? You see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're like, All right, that looks pretty good, JT. 5 up. Here's the problem with 5 up. All right, here's the problem with that 5 up. That high, that low. Overlap. That's not the kind of move that I'm looking for. All right. Why did I use that one? So if that's the wave 1 right there, that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 3. Wave 4s and wave 1s on a bullish trending move don't overlap. All right. That's a rule in Elliott wave. And I talk about there's guidelines and rules. That's a rule. Like wave 1 and 4s don't overlap on an impulsive, which is trending wave. So not the kind of bullish move I'm looking for. That may be an A, a B, and this be the C, and this be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks more like it. That wave 1 and that 4 did not overlap. That could lead to that. If you're having trouble with these, you're like, oh, man, just takes practice, all right? That's just me doing this for a few years. Actually, I'm like 6 years of doing Elliott wave now. It's not 30 years. It's just 6 years. It took 4 years before I got it right more than I got it wrong. I thought, I'm the type of person that picks up new skills. Like I buy a machine. Me and machines get along really well. I pick up skills left and right. I'm a collector of skills. I thought Elliott wave, no different, right? I pick up the skill. I got the concept really fast. I started wave slapping. I didn't understand wave slapping until later in my Elliott wave journey. I thought I had it down pretty good. I typically get things pretty quick. I got my pilot's license in just above the minimum required hours legally. I'm usually pretty good at picking up skills. Picking up Elliott wave was not one of those skills that I could just pick up. It took practice. It took a lot of practice for a number of years before I started getting it right a lot more than I got it wrong. I got lucky several times, and that kind of gave me false confidence. So this right here looks like an A, a B, and this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks like the C. And until proven otherwise, this may go back down and make a lower low. That's why that looks like the operative count. Trend is down coming into this. Can't argue. We made the high back here in 22. That's a downtrend for 2 years. Continuation of the downtrend would be down. TCOM, you let me know in the chat if that was helpful or if it's just rambling and you don't care. TCOM still looks like we want to go up to that target, but we may retrace to the roadmap line. VXX, just churning, churning, churning. VIXY, just churning, churning, churning. Walmart, wow. That's going exponential. Watch out for the retrace. That's going to suck when it does. Holy wow. Man. Look at that. The only real retrace in here. Like hit that 1272. Paused at the hit the 1448, excuse me. Retraced. Paused at the 1272. Looked back at the 1618. It was like, nah. Paused briefly at the 2.272. 2618. Next one up. 3618, 4618, or 4236, excuse me, and the 686. Why these levels? From years of doing this, all right? These are the ones that tend to react more than others. These are the ones, and I do a fib class and go through them, where these numbers come from. These are the ones I like, all right? Yang continues to suck it up. Got a reverse split. Aplas Pharmaceutical. That's a biotech pharma. Stay away. Just don't mess with these. You can lose a lot of money really fast with biotech and pharma. Oh, looky Looky, looky. Almost to the target. Scraped it yesterday. This one can find support right here. That could be it. That could be it. I'm going to wait and see. I'm not itching to get long biotech and pharma. All right, decliners, stuff that was declining, $2 more. Ooh, look at that. Extension and right back down. Here, perfect point, what I was talking about. Look at that right there. When we hit the targets, what is the simplest thing for something to do next? Retrace to the roadmap line. It's not magic. It's just the simplest thing that the market can do, that it loves to do over and over on all time frames. We hit an extension, we retrace it back to the roadmap line. Over and over. INCY, same thing. Back to the roadmap line. These are setting up potentials like that one right there. Break back above that. 86. Circle back down to it. Current high. Oh, missed the tool. Current high. If we hit the roadmap line, I'm not going to... I would wait for it to hit before I did anything. Back above the 683, could go up to 726, 738. AVAV. Look, again. Why do I use that 1448? It works, all right. Back to the roadmap line. This one, so this is 74%, 75% across like tens of thousands of trades. 75% likely to get hit. This one's 70%. So you lose about 5% right there. You'd be like, what about the 1618? That drops down to like 35%. So you lose a lot of probability right there in that move. I go for high probability, 74, 75% right there across tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands at this point. Because I just made a data set of 116,000 charts, and guess what? That tends to be the, more often than not, we hit that right there. And then retrace. Simplest thing to do. Retrace. Then we set up the new trade. What's the new trade? That high, this low, wait for the break above the 618, and 244, 251, 272. Do it all over again. FNGU, probably coming back to the roadmap line, or at least to retest this junk right here. We consolidated. Retest. Of course, it could hold the bottom. It could hold that and break on higher. FNGU probably over, if the market can turn and burn here, probably going up here, 627. It's already kind of proved it wants to. It just, there's the support levels. Race. Got it. Nailed it. Right into the target zone. 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure that's done yet. Not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe when I come to 411. Not sure that one's done. PTIR, 2x leverage on PLTR. PLTR must have gotten hit a little bit. A little bit of retrace. Still looking for that 76 target up there. 1272 or 75 target up there. DPST. 3x leverage on regional banks. This was the target area. Retrace would be in order. LEU. Heading down, cruising for the roadmap line. Coin. Oh, yeah. Come on, breakout. That retested the breakout. This breakout level all the way back here. Retested right there. Classic move. We hit the target. We retrace. If we hold here, a lot of times we can extend here. If we break down below, retrace right there. So if we're going to extend, usually we hold the prior high, that breakout level, and go for the extension. So that extension up here, if we can get there, up around 400, 425 area. FAS, watch out for the retrace there. It's been a long time since we've been back to the roadmap line. That was, last thing was a 4-hour bounce. Cool. Love it. Okay. This screen is much smaller than the other screen I use. There you go. Up to the 272. Watch out for... Look at this. Resistance, retrace, held the breakout. Tried again, and got it. 1618, retrace back to the 1272, and out to the 272. May retrace it, hold here, and go for that one. Retrace it, go for that one. That may be what we do, or we could come down to the roadmap line. Lows coming down for the roadmap line. SPXL. Hit the 1448, retraced the breakouts, retested, out to the 1272, retested. If we're going higher, 198. That's leverage, be careful. JPM. I don't really have any expectation. Maybe a retrace, but that can extend it. Carvana. Keeps rocking and rolling, maybe heading up to 680 on Carvana. DJT, sitting at the roadmap line. May be able to bounce, but nope, so far not. Watch out for a deeper retrace. Support right there. If we get below it, we may go make a lower low. Bulls. Watch out for the retrace, but that set up for a move out to this 225. Like if we can get her moving up there, 225. UDOW. That can do another extension. Look at those fib lines. Look at that. Retrace, extend out, retrace. Next extension. Beautiful. I don't even know what to say. Look at that. Beautiful. Pop. Boom. Retrace. Boom. Retrace. Boom. Oh, nope. There we go. Got enough energy. Retrace again. LABU. I warned about that one. Biotech. So this one, watermelon seed squeeze, may come all the way down here. BA. Looking for this thing. This may have bottomed. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Upside resistance at the roadmap line at this point. I was kind of expecting it to bottom. There's a little bit lower it could go. But we kind of touched into the zone. We have to break above that and that to initially indicate we're done on the downside. Got to get above the roadmap line. That's... It can still do another extension lower. But this looks pretty cooked at this point. There was the A wave. Here was the B wave. And this is the C wave. Off of that high. A, B, C, right there. Right in the reversal zone. Yeah. Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Let's see if we can hold it. CRH. Watch for the retrace. HRB. They offered me a substantial discount because they went down on tax day last year. They could not e-file on tax day last year. I just happened to do my own taxes and use their software, and I was pretty upset. Eventually got it done late in the day. They came back online, but that was a big hassle and freaked me out. I did not want to mail like 300 pages of bullcrap to the government. Uploading was much better. And looks like after that, little faux pas back here. Rock and roll higher. Retrace. That high, that low. May extend up to the 70 area. UPRO. And we may extend that one up to 104. Bonus trade. Oh, I didn't type it in. Let's go grab it off of Discord really quickly. Pop it over, paste it in here. NWE. Here's the bonus for the day. Target 58, stop below 51, upside potential 2.64. This is not the most bangingest one. Like, first off, only 21 trades, not a statistical population. 1.3, not the awesomest, and 76. Now, why did I pick this, not something else? Because there were limited choices today set up for an entry today. This was the best of what we had. So NWE right here. Nice ABC, three-wave retrace. Into the roadmap line. Same pattern all the time. Here's the high, here's the low. Right there. This is what you're looking for. A, B, C, retrace. Moved up, closed above the 618 for the first time. That's the first candle that closed above the 618. Right there. Right there. This did retrace today. It's a better reward, risk to reward. Could it come all the way down and fail? You betcha, it could fail. Right there. If that's something you want to get into, there you go, though. There's the opportunity. 58.23 is the actual target. Very sloppily. Put that on there. 58.23. Right there. 58.23. Target. Stop. 51.30. There you go. That's the trade. All right, bias for the day. Wrap this baby up. For those of you still here, not a giant group today. Guess it's not the bangingest, most fun day to hang out with JT. Expectation. My expectation, that was it. Right there. That was it. Watching for a breakup of this up here. Roadmap line, 15 minute, then 30 minute above that. We're going to have to make an uptrend, though. Got to get a higher high. So need to break above this, break above this, break above this. Got to break above that, break above that, break above that. And then we'll be on an up, be indicating an uptrend. But we'll probably need to show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a constructive up, 1, 2, 3 and a constructive retrace. You see, could be a head and shoulders in there, possibly, and set up the extension higher. That'll be what I'm watching. So if we break down below this low right here, watch out below. How far below? That's the 618. If we get below it, next level down, right here, 70, 57.90, and then the daily roadmap line, not super far down below that, right here, 55.70. So below 57.90, prior low, 57.20, below that, 55.70. On the upside, break back above that 618 level right there, 59.86, 59.90. Go rock and rolling. Next upside targets, 6,100, possibly up to 6,200, 6,300, 6,400. And we'll probably get a retrace before we get all the way up there. This next move could last us out into 2025. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. 5 p.m. Eastern, 30 minutes of awesome. Take your request for 30 minutes. Come join me.